Hello friends. Hello friends. It's windy and a little bit chilly in the shade here. It's great. We had very hot weather last week and now we have some lower temperature and it's really wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. And it's great. It's windy. I have a lot of messages of people who worried about what is going on. As usual, I'm gonna tell you again, don't forget that your soul came to have this experience as it is now. So this, doesn't make things easier somewhere, but we are not victims. We are here. We often don't know the purpose of that. But I think what is important is to be true to ourselves, to don't pretend to be something else but who we are, to be able to expose what is important for us, even if it's shocking for others. Sometimes it's difficult to face reality, certain reality, because it triggered things very deep, unsure or coming from cultural and transgenerational and religious backgrounds. Since I am child, and maybe because I often spoke about that, my grandmother on my mother's side was Jehovah's Witness, and I was obliged to first to clean the house with her. I was really young. I was in between 6 and 8, because she was widow and they were coming to her house for the readings once a week. So she was cleaning the house for them to come, cooking, preparing things to welcome everybody. I remember it was like maybe 8-10 people around the table of the living room. Everything was in wood. The living room was in wood, beautiful table in massive wood, and the buffet, the cabinet for the dishes was absolutely stunning. It was massive wood with sculpture, and we were cleaning this, putting wax and cleaning them and burnish them to make them shiny and beautiful, to welcome these people to come and read. And me, I was obliged to follow. I was obliged to be present. And I was listening to what was said about the Old Testament. And I was fascinated by some of the passages that were for me I was seeing movies without knowing at that time that movies were existing, because we had no TV. And I was wow, it was in my mind a scene that I was seeing. The Genesis imprinted me a lot, and maybe it's for that I love to go to the origins of things, to know what was before and what was before and what was before and what was before. Like when I am on the road, I want to know what is after the next turn and what is after and what is after. This curiosity of the unknown, to discover wonders, to, it's something that makes a life more exciting and full of trust, because when you connect to the origin and you are curious to know how did we came, how all this has been manifested, what is this miracle, and it's wonderful. I've always been fascinated, and I was listening to this adult, and something was not resonating with my inside of little girl. I felt that there were besides something more simple, more beautiful than this Godfather punishing everybody. They were not, doing what we were supposed to do. That sometimes was not making sense to me. And for me, and I think it's a memory that we have when we come from the invisible, and also because we are multidimensional beings and we have all the time a connection with the invisible. And for me, it was God is inside of me, because they were saying this word God, and they were in a way presenting him like a God that could have vengeance, or if we were not doing things right, like if he wanted. And all this was really not at the right place to me, because before being with her east of France, I grew with my grandparents in Corsica for 2 years, from 2 to 4. And this taught me and made me who I am today, with trust and knowing that everything is right. There is nothing to fear, because when you grow in nature, really immerse in nature, it's not always easy, challenging, but you see that one day after another day, you are here, and you survive, and you are thankful for the goodies that has been given by nature. So this is something that always, amazed me. And when I started to see the first movies about the Far West, I was always, on the side, if I can say, of the natives, because it was resonating with my early life with my grandparents, without running water and electricity, and, bathing at the river and cultivating the land and hunting and fishing and all that. So for me, it was like, it's a side that stands under nature law, that understand, that comprehend, that is connected. And when you destroy all what nature has to offer, like it has been done here, like it has been done in so many places, and like it's done in the Middle East, actually right now, since many years in Palestine, when I see a simple thing, very simple thing, that doesn't make any sense, it's cutting thousands of years olive trees. We had an olive tree that was a wild one, very old, very big, huge. I could not do the tour with my little arm around. We need to be free child to be able to make the tour. We were playing with this tree, and the tree is still there. It's still there, 70 years after, I'm going to be 70, so 68 years I knew this tree, but he was here before me. Nobody would imagine to cut this tree. They made the road to don't cut the tree. It's precious. When you see that thousands of olive trees has been cut, in the place they belong to plant other trees, this is a perfect example of not being under nature law, of not standing under nature law. There is something that is absolutely out of place for me that. And only that shows that something is not right. It's like what is going on here. Now we are cutting Joshua Tree forest to put solar panels when we have dry lakes, like immense cities without any vegetation, and they cut the trees that are hundreds of years old to put solar panel. And after we wonder how things are going so bad in the world. Sure, it goes bad because we are not standing under natural law. We are destroying the natural circle of things, of life. So all this has an impact upon each of us. We are totally disconnected. And this is the thing. You know, it's very simple and basic. You know, I see here, it's desert, there are bushes that seems dead. But almost at each bush that seems dead, or that is dead, there is something that is growing, because these dead bushes, they are protecting new seeds. And it's a natural circle of life. So until we go back to this wisdom, things will not go better. We are in a time of total destruction of the obsolete system that is not standing under nature. And we go deeper and deeper in this nonsense. When you think about all the money that represent to build this farm of solar panel, of wind, this wind thing, like huge, how all this can interfere with the natural energetic currents of the planet. It's absolutely amazing. How things can go well? How can we not be disturbed? How can we not be confused? All the natural energetic fields are, shaken. But the good thing is that we created this technology that make us seeing all these things more than some years ago, more direct, in between us, at all the sides of the world. And this is to open our eyes about the sad reality of what is going on. And by that, stimulate our deep desire of something different, of something beautiful, of something with peace, of something with beauty, of preserving life and all that. And in fact, showing the sad reality, it's an encouragement to develop inside the one who is seeing, if he has intelligence, and if he can have a broader view of what is going on beyond what is triggered inside because of independent, of depending of one culture, one tribe, one herd, or one group of people, or one belief system. If we go beyond all that, all this has been created by man. It's not created by nature. When we look at nature, there is a wisdom. This morning, during my hike, I've been in a place I rarely go, under this gigantic juniper tree. Every time I was passing like 20, 30 meters away of this tree, I was seeing a owl flying. And I said, oh, there is a owl here. But no more. But today, it's the contrary. I went towards the tree, and the owl went away. And I said, wow, this is her tree. And I was wondering, I saw the direction where she was, and she disappeared. And I was wondering, where is she? So I did, ooh, 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 like if I was waiting that she answered to me, And I was searching, I was quietly looking around. And suddenly, in the shade, I saw her silhouette. She was in the Joshua tree, and I could see in between the big branches, of the Joshua tree, in the light between the branches, I saw her silhouette with the little ears, like that. And she was perfectly in the shade. Sure, because of the sun, but also because she knew that she was hidden there, and there are few chances I could miss her. It's just because I moved so slowly, and I was watching each tree so slowly and moving slowly around. Suddenly I saw. But I didn't have the reflex to put my camera on slow motion because I knew she was going away, and I just have a glimpse, it's in my story today, of her flying. And she went on rocks. So I went closer to the rocks, and again I was so absorbed by seeing her and slowly going there. She was melting with the rocks, again in a shady place, And again, I was so excited about seeing her that I totally forgot to put my phone on slow motion. And I missed again her flying away. And this is such a majestic animal. And these people are cutting the trees where they live. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. I remember when I was in Malibu, I was in this guest house, renting this beautiful place that a lot of you knows. And it was the property beside, it was a house, not abandoned, but that was going to be renovated. And it was these huge tropical trees. I could not see the house, like 10 meters away. I could not see the house, so the trees were so beautiful. And one morning, I was in my bed at 8 o'clock, and I hear, zzz, poof, zzz, poof. And I cannot believe it. I went at the window, and I was horrified. They cut all the trees to renovate the house. All these beautiful old trees, maybe 50, 60 years or maybe more, they cut all. And it was this beautiful plant in the garden, so huge. I went to see the contractor, who became my friend because sometimes I offer him a coffee, and he had a very, very sad life experience with his son who passed away. Being, addict to this painkiller because he had an accident, and he died from addiction of painkiller. So we always had nice discussion, and one day I told him, what are you going to do with the huge plant? Can you dig it and put it somewhere else? Because it's so beautiful, because we were going to do a swimming pool. No. To dig the plant out, it was $10,000. They did a renovation that costed hundreds of thousands of dollars to make all new, all glass, all, like cold, like an office building, in fact. But they had not $10,000 to save and to put somewhere else this amazing, gigantic, like cactus plant that is endemic, that doesn't require water. This one did not require water anymore. The roots were so deep. So this is what humans are doing. And after they wonder why the world is such in trouble. I'm like, I cannot believe it. In the name of what? In the name of what? Oh, little squirrel is here. Oh, he found the plate of baby monster with the cheese. He's so excited, so cute. Yeah, so, it's that. In the name of what? There is enough room on this planet and resources to be able to live at peace together, I don't understand. I guess I'm not from this world. It's not my world. I remember my nephew was scared because he was watching these terrible movies. He was 10 years old, and he said, Mommy, please, Auntie, please, bring me in your world. because he was feeling me at peace. I said, sure you are not at peace. Look at the terrible thing you are watching. And he said, Auntie, bring me in your world. It's that. So my discussion seems a little bit out of, precise topic. But I told 5 years ago, when all this nonsense started, hold on, be grounded, because it's going to shake more and more. And here we are. So I always said, don't be scared, because your soul came to have this experience. So you just have to follow the flow and just always remember that. Because when you remember that, you raise your frequency and you connect more to your highest self, and you will be more guided. So to do the right thing at the right time, be in silence. This doesn't mean to don't see what is going on around. I engage you to see what is going on around, but to take distance, to observe, and to deep inside of yourself create another reality. Wish what is really dear to you, what you want for your family, your friend, for the planet, for people around the world. Because the more we will be doing this, and more we're going to create an egregore that raise the frequency, that in fact follow the raising of the frequency of the planet that is accelerating. And it's for that there are all these movements and all these changes. Because the system, I told you since many years, this system is obsolete. That it be the health system, the political system, all this is obsolete. So all this has to crawl. We are assisting right now at the fall of the United States. 250 years ago, this country has been created on drama, on trauma of the natives. I don't like really much the word karma, but when you send out something that is, everything you send out, it's coming back to you in one way or another. So be mindful about what you think, how you see things. Try to elevate yourself. When I post something, it's not because it is what I think. Often, I am observing what is going on in this post and I don't agree with that. But it's more for people to face that and decide, no, we don't want that anymore. No, we don't want to be, the slave of that war machine and that money-making thing. We don't want that. We want peace. And more we will be inside of us, connecting with this higher frequency of peace, and more we will create that other world, that other dimension. There are parallel worlds together in this world, in this dimension. And it's true that my reality is not the reality of someone else. But I cannot avoid to know what is going on for some people in sufferance in the world. And me, I see this as 2,000 years ago, one individual has been martyrized, crucified. And now we have a sacrifice of thousands, hundreds of thousands of beings around the surface of the globe to open our heart to desires, to stimulate inside of us the desire of peace and no more of that. And to realize that there are the people that have benefits of all these terrible things. And it seems to be very difficult to stop this. But I still believe, I'm still positive, and I still believe that we can. And we can only if we realize who we are as human being, divine being, who we are with our ability to create with our mind connected to spirit, to the Holy Spirit. I'm not speaking about religions. I've always been against labeling and being part of and all these things since I'm a kid, because I was seeing this nonsense. And when I grew with my grandmother, Jehovah's Witness, and feeding them and all this and preparing for them and listening to this nonsense, because for me they were not seeing at the symbol level, they were just seeing at the basic level, 1 degree, but not deeper. And I think being a child, I was still a lot connected to the invisible, and I was seeing this more deeply and more simply, And I was not telling me tales of this Father God who was watching me in the sky and will be punishing me if I was not doing things right. No, I could not buy this thing. I never bought it, and I was a little bit the black duck of the family because of that as well. But I think these times to see all this nonsense is to invite us to see much beyond our cultural, religious heritage, to see that all this brought the nonsense where we are, all this interest in the name of God, in the name of that, in the name of this. Stop it. Be free of all this labeling. It's something that I always say, and when I see people labeling me of anti-that or anti-that, my goodness, people don't understand really who I am and what I'm speaking about since many years. It's not new, So when I post things that are disturbing, if they disturb, it's because something is triggered. Why is it triggered? When something triggers me, I go back to wonder what is inside of me that I see outside that triggers me. What inside of me resonates with that? And this makes me grow and evolve spiritually. We need for that a certain kind of, I would say, intelligence that is connected to the supreme intelligence in ourselves, our inner wisdom, and also our right to say this is unacceptable. No matter who is doing it, it's unacceptable. And it's not because you said it's unacceptable that you are anti that or that. Most often, when the words are not even appropriate, because people are using words and they don't even know the true meaning of the words. And this has been made on purpose. We saw this with this sanitary crisis 5 years ago, to name something with something that is not, a remedy that is not, something that is supposed to be, that has nothing to see with what is usually this kind of product. And all this to create confusion. And after, when a word is misused, it creates another level of confusion. And after, it's losing people. And it's become more and more intricate and more difficult to see clearly. But go back to origins, go back to the Genesis, like I was fascinated by the Genesis in the Old Testament. And go back to that. Another beautiful scene of this Testament was Daniel with the lions. How can we put this very powerful and cruel, if we can say, strength, force as the lion and domesticate that? How can we do this and be friend with that and use this at for the good, for goodness in the world, instead of destruction, instead of wars, instead of killing, instead. So every single day I am thinking, and I am seeing all these terrible things, and I am thinking of all these people that are killed in the name of, because they are Christian, because they are Palestinian, because they are this, because they are that. And I am like, how it's possible? How it's possible if it's not a sacrifice to open the heart of human being for them to change the world, to create another world? We created this mess, but it should be a way to create something good. So we created the tool to be able to witness this, to see this. It's not for the dogs, it's for us to grow from that, to decide something is inside of each of us, to be, firm on our determination. It's to stimulate inside of us that we don't want that. We want something else. We want something beautiful. We want something, that is honoring the divine in human beings, not treating them like animals. Because we are all coming from the invisible realm, from the supreme intelligence, from God, call it like you want. But we are miracles. How it's possible? How it's possible that I can see, I can touch, I can feel, I can breathe, my goodness, all these wonders and all these terrible things. Who is seeing through these eyes? Who is seeing? It's something that has no weight, we cannot touch. It's something that is directly connected to the invisible realm. The invisible realm is not void. It's more full than what we can see. So when we connect to this higher consciousness outside of us, and we can create something with a higher consciousness, it's outside of interest. It is really simple. It's like people asking me, how do you do? What is your diet? What cream do you use? Do you take hormones and that? No, I don't. I'm just, I just go with simplicity. I just face myself as well, as I am. I don't filter myself. I don't retouch myself. I don't, because it would be an offense to myself. It will be an offense to my integrity. It's a time to have integrity more than ever. I'm speaking about that since many years. It's really a time to have integrity for ourselves first, to really face what we want and we don't want anymore, to witness that and to speak about it. Some people say, oh, I see all this, but I don't want to feed this because of that. It's not about that. You can decide from this what you want and don't want. And when we do this, and we are more and more, we create something in the invisible that is very powerful. And it's it's a time for humans to realize, human beings to realize their power, how they can create with their mind, how we create with our minds. Yeah, it's exactly that. I remember always, I was 12, 13, seeing my uncle and my aunt going to the office every single day in Besançon, east of France. And I was seeing them watching, having their watch all the time and watching the watch, and I have to go, I have 2 minutes. And I was feeling their stress, and I was saying, I will never work in an office, because I didn't want to be like that. And I never did. And this doesn't mean that I don't had challenging time, raising 2 children with uncertainty, because being model, it's, you never know when you're gonna work, you never know when you're gonna make money. So, but for that, you can deal with that because you have faith, because you connect deep inside, and somewhere you decide deep inside that you will go through it. So it's a time to really embrace, if I can say, what is going on, to be able to decide and create something different. It's chaotic right now, and the chaos, it's from the chaos that can birth something new. And we are all participating in that, all of us. And I invite you to have a broader view, to forget maybe a little bit about your appartenances and your belief system, to free yourself of your limitation, of narrow box where people want to put us, or where you put yourself in, to be a little bit revolutionary, to try to do things differently, or to see things differently, with your heart wanting good for others, no matter who they are. To pray then for the ones that are, in a way, doing things unaware that the bad they are doing, and to wish that they could have, suddenly a vision of what they are doing and go back and change this. And some are doing, a lot of are doing. And when I post about these people who one day, awaken of what they were doing so nasty, I think this is the most beautiful message that can give to others, that there is the possibility to make a change. Because when you have people who did the worst thing to others, and they can see that what they did, how it was terrible, how they could feel so bad, but from that there is a very strong determination to never again, and denounce that. And I think this is part of human experiences. It's really, we are here to experiment life in every conditions. And it's very often not easy. But it's always this image that I always had, because I travel quite a lot, and when you are in the plane and above the cloud, you see the sun. And this is a very beautiful symbol to be connected to. It's quite an archetype with some forces that you can get inside of you, and don't stay on something. It's like a metamorphosis. You see something that is hurting you, hurting your feelings. You take it and you transform it. And it's martial art, You see something that is being destroyed and not really nice or dirty. And how come to my mind this poor little baby coyote who died. And he was full of dirt and mice poo, and I felt in my body to wash him, and I did, and I felt he was feeling better because just someone had attention for him. And it's that, how can we give, even if it's at distance, even if we cannot concretely, physically engage something, but with our heart how can we balm, how can we connect with the people that are suffering, and appreciating the sacrifice they are doing, these souls are doing, to awaken human being to be part, of the spiritual growth crisis that is going on. It's all about that. So I wanted to tell you, be grounded is going to shake even more. It's a kind of logical following of what is going on, because the whole system is crawling. So it doesn't go without hurting and difficult times. So be grounded when something can be scary. That is not a word of my vocabulary. It's a transmutation also, I can see frightening things, but I can also immediately transmutate this in a vision that is opposite of that. And if we do all this, we take time being in silence. And when we see what we see with our phone or screens that is hurting, immediately I invite you to create the opposite of that in your mind, in your imagination, a vision of something totally different for the good. And we can do that, and it doesn't cost anything, because we have to really, really see that we are spiritual being, and we can use our mind, our brain, our mind, connection with our heart, that is the cave of our soul, and desire something else without knowing the shape it can have yet. But we can envision, each of us has the ability to imagine something beautiful. And when we do this, using as catalyst the ugliness we see outside, we are creating a parallel reality. We are creating another world, yes. And it's that. Some people say, oh, you are lucky, you live there, and it's not a question of luck, it's a question of choices. I had to make choices, and I made choices during my life. It was summer solstice, and it's opposite of winter solstice, that is when I born, so I'm going to be 70 the 21st of December this year. And it's absolutely fascinating to me, because I feel so ancient, and I feel like I am in my 20s. And I think it's because I'm connected to this invisible realm where time doesn't exist. And I feel it. I feel this flowing through me. And sometimes I have some, pain in my body in the morning when I wake up. That is rare, but sometimes it happens because, as the planet is raising frequency, it's really, the planet is expanding. So it's also working in our bones, deep inside ourselves. So a lot of people are feeling pain sometimes, or dizzy and all that. It's also because we have to follow, our DNA is changing. We have to follow the raising of the frequency of the planet, and it's difficult. It's easy to conceive in the mind, it's easy to understand, to comprehend what is going on, but for the body that is a lower density, it's difficult to make the transformation. And we are mutant. We are in transformation permanently. Our cells, our DNA, everything is changing all the time. So there is no other secrets, in a way, that embracing with enthusiasm the fact to be alive. Enthusiasm means embracing the divine. And in ourselves, it's that, in ourselves first. And when we embrace the divine in ourselves, we cannot desire bad around us. I think what we see around the world of all these people that are killing and in the name of something and all that, it's because they don't embrace this divine in themselves. They are cut from it. And as I said at the beginning, it's quite understandable how we can be cut from, nature law, because of all the influences we created, disturbances we created with all the technology and all the nonsense that is going on in the name of green energy. And this is a big topic. Yeah, but I want to encourage you to never forget that your soul came at that time. This can give you some comfort. Never forget that we are not powerless. Never forget that your power is inside of you, and your way, your ability to maybe make a change in your way of thinking. And you can discover other worlds. Don't limit yourself with belonging to this or this or this. Free yourself of all these tags and things and in the name of and that. Just go more simple. It's lighter, and it will be lighter if everybody, goes toward that. It will be less and less boundaries, less and less little boxes and separations. Because in this invisible field that is all around, all our invisible fields of each of us is connected. And it's mind-blowing, really, really mind-blowing. Voilà, my friends. I wish you a good week, and such a beautiful light. It's such a beautiful light. So embrace the light. Yeah. Let me see if you have messages. I did not follow because it's like difficult for me to, I seem to go in a little bit every direction, but it's normal. I'm a stellar being. I am stellar. I'm not linear, So sometimes it seems I start by something and we don't know where I go. No problem. Me too. I don't know where I go with that. It's just when I speak when I feel to speak, and maybe this is going to resonate for some people. And mostly is that. Mostly I have comments of people telling me, oh, what you said there it was really important for me at that time to listen to that. Thank you very much. And I'm always amazed, because sometimes I wonder what I'm speaking about. I know what I'm speaking about, in broad spectrum, but sometimes it's like something is going through me and speaking through me, and it's me, it's my higher self. I'm not channeling anything, this channeling thing for me, it's a total nonsense, because at the higher self we are all connected, and we connect with being a light of being, and we are light of being too. If we connect to them, we can manifest that, and we can bring this in this physical dimension, and we can do it by the beauty we create. And it's that, it's as simple as that. You create a beautiful dish for yourself, you create a beautiful meal for your friend or your family, and you manifest this. You are a light being, and bringing beauty and love, and it's very simple. And it's nothing extraordinary to do than being yourself. You worth it. Everybody is special and unique and has something really unique to give to the world. So be yourself. Don't pretend to be someone else. Don't pretend to copy anyone or in the name of, fashion or that. No, just, it's so pleasurable because when you do that, you don't lose energy. You don't spend time on nonsense, on things. It's so much energy is lost on pretending. So is lost on making things complicated, I'm going to show you how beautiful it is outside to end this monologue. Oh my, let me show you this. Look at that. Look at this beauty. Oh, baby. I hear you, baby. Come, my baby. I hear the roadrunner. He's around somewhere. Yeah, you see how beautiful is that? Yeah. So voila. Saturday, I went to the swap meet and I found this beautiful coach for $20. And I gave $20 for a gentleman to help me bringing it here. So you see. And I didn't want any money, but I was so grateful, that he made me able to make this in a very simple way. But, I'm not sure I'm going to keep this coach. If you are interested, I love the setting I had before. And voila, so these are little things, of daily life. And I encourage you to recycle, to find beauty in the forgotten things, to enjoy, to give a new life, to share, to offer simple things. Okay, my friend, I thank you very much for watching. And I wish you to use your imagination in a wonderful way. You can create anything fantastic with your mind, and there are chances to manifest another world altogether. Bye. Bye-bye.